Welcome back to the war song of Davokar. If you're already here, you've seen the first two episodes, so let's jump straight to the summary. This time, focused entirely on the Raiders' party. The Ambrians are ready to retaliate for the assault on Thistlehold, and so they attack the barbarian line, and the weasels have to hold out. And they do. They won. They won their fight. They won the bonus fight after that they didn't have to do. And it was a really good time. It was just a big, giant battle of a session, and it was very cool. That's all the summary I'm doing, because with a big 2.5 hour fight session, the only way to summarize it further is to do a play-by-play every turn, and that's going to be a 30-minute video. So I just wanted to give you guys an update. Now, there were some highlight moments. Calvor was extremely, let's say, brave. He saw the Ambrian line moving in slowly, and he runs out in front of the weasels, and he's like, come on! And Sook is on his back. They got this Master Blaster thing going on that's neat. And he survived. That was fine. Rocco got kind of a duel with one of the enemy monster hunters. He almost got killed by a spar bomb, but he made it out. And then later, when they're helping out the Odaiva clan, he saw the breaching pot run up, get placed down. He jumped over the trench, grabbed the breaching pot, threw it into the enemy mages. It explodes. Epic moment. Cool. Scab doesn't really have a highlight moment like that, and I think that's fine, because I think that's kind of what the player has built, and what I assume they're having fun doing, because they took the rapid fire ability. They sacrifice their movement on their turn to say, I stand in one spot and I shoot twice and I kill stuff, and they're doing that. They're getting some good kills by standing in back and being kind of quiet and getting advantage and popping off 2 arrows on a turn, which is a big deal in Symbaroum. So yeah, now we had the Jenga Tower mechanic back, and I actually added in a little rule where in between these big fight scenes, which was represented by 4 different maps that I drew that was all on the same big vinyl map on the table. We played out the Weasel map, and then there were 3 others, and depending on the combat rolls, which I'll get to later, the other barbarian clans might have been winning or losing, and they could have gone and helped the ones that were losing. They did. That turned around the battle. Good stuff. So anyway, I added in this rule where if you want to heal in between combat scenes, you can roll a d6 of toughness to regain. However, you have to pull an additional Jenga block. And if the Jenga Tower goes down, the battle is still lost. So a few of them took me up on that. They weren't feeling too fresh after the fight with the Weasel lines. When they went to go save Odaiva, they're like, we need to heal up. Let's pull a few blocks and risk it. And it worked out for them in the end. Now, I've been making some very simple rolls behind the screen for how these fights are going on, and there is an established system in Symbaroum in the Game Master's Guide for pitched combat. They spend about 6 or 7 pages and a bunch of different little rules and roll tables, and it is fine. It's fine. In fairness, I haven't actually played it out like I have the Dragon Age mass combat system, or the Pathfinder mass combat system, or a few different things that I've tried with 5e D&D. But when I look at what they wrote in the Game Master's Guide for pitch battle, I think this is fine for what it is. It just feels too much like a mini game of something outside of Symbaroum, rather than something that is your characters in the zone with similar rules playing a battle in Symbaroum. So, I try to focus on characters, and I just kind of wing it on rolling and say, like, oh look, the barbarians over here are not doing so hot. What are you gonna do about it? And that works for me right now. I could see if these characters become more commanders, we might use those pitch battle rules. I think that would work for that. But for right now, we wanted to capture the experience of being the guys in the trenches, and this works better for that. So yeah, everything is going pretty well. Now, next time, we want to switch it up because we spent a full episode full session on the Raiders, we want to get back to our A-Team, our Queen Seekers, see what kind of plan they're going for, and let them do some heist planning in the city before they do something major. Or maybe they wind up doing something major next time. Who knows? We are going to check in with the Raiders because after this fight, the Barbarian War Chief said, "Okay, good job, everybody. The Ambrians are running back to Thistlehold, and they're not as fresh as we are. So y'all get a good nap, and before dawn hits, we're gonna burn their city down." And the players and their characters' first response to this was, "Oh hell no! We just had a big fight for you after another big fight for you, and now you want to send us in again? No, we're not going to do that." And I think that's interesting. So next time we're not going to play out a battle with them. We're not going to play out a combat scene, but we are going to see, do they commit to that and try to go AWOL basically, or do they fall in line and we get ready to raise Thistlehold to the ground? But that's all going to be next time. Until then, you have a Nat 1 day. Bye bye.